All right, well, it's not morning. It's afternoon. It's evening. I guess it depends on where you're at. Never mind. That was terrible. I'm not going to use that. Um, Hello. Welcome to the Verbal Nonsense Podcast. I am Todd.
And I am Joel.
And yeah, that's it. I don't know. I'm not going to use that one either. I hate doing the intro. I'm going to
You
use
want me
that
to
one.
do it?
Screw it. Never mind. No, we'll do that. That's fine. You're hiding.
Well, I wasn't sure if we were going to do that over again or not.
Nah, screw it. We'll do it. Let's just get started so we can get it going.
Okay.
Oh man. I'm gonna dive into something that I'm not really gonna dive into it. Never mind. I can't remember the guy's name. Never mind. One of the guys at the impeachment hearings was caught watching. Did you read about this?
No, I avoid politics.
Yeah, I do. I do too for the most part. But as I was looking around for articles and stuff, I actually noticed. Oh man, he was watching some show on his phone during the impeachment hearings instead of paying attention to the impeachment hearings.
That would have been me.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I would have been watching House of Cards or something. Just
House
just
of
for
Cards.
the irony. So, uh, oh
24.
yeah, no, yeah, 24. Oh, some what's the one? Man, a good impeachment hearing movies. Oh,
Or just watch the old Bill Clinton impeachment hearings.
oh, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Have you ever watched that one?
I don't think
It's
so.
an old, oh man, Jimmy, old actor, Jimmy. I can't remember his name now. That's terrible. He played in, a bunch of movies. Glenn Miller's Story, um, probably a bunch of westerns. Yeah, definitely a bunch of westerns. But, oh my gosh, who is it? That's terrible of me. I can't remember. But, he basically gets elected to Congress so that the rest of Congress can push this bill. He was just an alderman, and they're wanting to basically, like, I don't know, take some land, but all he wanted to do in Congress was use that exact same land to open up a boys' camp. And so he ends up doing like this 24-hour speech and holding Congress hostage.
Mm-mm.
I think it was made in the early 60s, maybe late 50s. It was really good, though.
Huh.
I don't know. What
No,
would you
never seen it.
What would you watch during an impeachment hearing? Outside of 24 and House of Cards?
The Stand.
The
I don't
I don't think that one's long enough. I'd watch The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings extended movies, just
Ooh.
straight through.
The uncut versions.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, the ones with the telephone poles in the cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'd watch. I don't know,
Nice.
you want to get to some real stuff, or?
Yeah.
Nah.
You want to go first?
Yeah, actually, I really do, because I discovered this guy named Nigel Richards. You ever heard of him?
I don't know.
Scrabble champion.
Oh no, definitely
No.
not then.
Yeah, he wasn't actually a Scrabble champion. He was a water treatment plant worker who, while bicycling, um, would study the French Scrabble dictionary. Granted, this guy's from New Zealand. Everyone says he cannot speak French, but he memorized the French Scrabble dictionary. He can't like converse in French, but I have a few stats written down here. The French Scrabble dictionary has 386,000 words in it. To put it in perspective, the North American Scrabble dictionary says here it has 187,000 words in it. So, anyway, he goes to France for the world's, I don't know, the French Scrabble competition and wins. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, then everybody says he can't speak French at all. NPR quote, it says it's like Tiger Woods in his prime quitting golf to play tennis.
I mean, I guess all you have to do is just know how to spell the words without even knowing.
Yeah, I guess the guy was really good at math and some other strategy games and realized that Scrabble is more about mathematics and strategy rather than actual words. So he would essentially see, his letters and then just play off of what was available and just try to block. I don't know. I don't play Scrabble. I can't pronounce words, let alone spell them. Why would I play Scrabble? You know, it's it's a true story.
I want to see you and Melissa go head to head.
Oh yeah, can she not read or write either?
Oh no, no! She's a grammar Nazi.
Okay, that's neat. Well, luckily for me, there's no commas in Scrabble, so it's I don't know. That I found that interesting. I wonder if Tiger Woods would be good at tennis though. Bigger balls, smaller stick.
Mm.
I'd challenge Tiger Woods to a tennis match.
Go for it.
Yeah, I would. I do. Tiger Woods, if you're watching, I challenge you to a tennis match. West Plains, Missouri. If you don't show up, you're a chicken. So, that's a serious challenge. He'd beat me, even with a bad back.
Is he a spicy chicken?
Oh, snap. Chicken. Oh, yeah, I guess we can go ahead and talk about Spicy Christmas Special next week.
You said chicken. I figured we'd just segue.
Just segue right into it, just like a mall cop. Just segue. Play on words. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you talk about it. It was kind of your idea. Ish.
Well, the Christmas special was your idea.
It was definitely.
Yep. Eating spicy food was my idea.
Yep, and we just merged the two. It's a mashup. What do they call that on the internet when they mash two things up? The
mashup?
No, there's some other thing where they like take one food and like another food and they put it together and they're calling it something really dumb. It's a trending thing that's going on pretty much all year. Fusion jazz, I don't know. I'm not going to even attempt it. I'm not even going to look it up because I'm not that young.
The darn kids.
Darn kids and their made up words. Dab. No, but yeah. Oh.
Hello.
Cat bomb. Christmas special. We're gonna be more or less talking about Christmas stuff.
The origins of certain traditions.
Yeah, our favorite ones. Not all of them. Yeah. Forgive us if we're not historically accurate.
We're gonna do our best.
I'm gonna do what time allows.
And meanwhile, we'll be eating spicy wings.
Yeah.
From mildly to middle range to.
I'm just going balls out. I'm just all I'm interested in is that garlic.
Garlic Reaper sauce.
Yeah, the death sauce. That's all I'm really interested in. I know I can't handle it, but I'm pretty sure I can handle it for an hour. When are you gonna get that cat spayed?
Dude.
Oh man. So what kind of sauces did we end up with anyway? Joel was actually responsible for divvying that out to his wife to order.
Well, the low end of that is the hippy dippy green sauce, which has a lot of green peppers in it. It's got jalapenos,
bell pepper,
and a couple.
The spicy bell peppers.
I think it does have some bell peppers, but it's also got serrano peppers in it.
Ooh.
And it's also got black pepper in it. And then there's the pineapple habanero sauce, which
one actually sounds delicious.
I tasted it; it's delicious.
Oh.
And then there's the garlic Reaper sauce, which is also tasty.
Yep.
It's just after you go, ooh, garlic, your face is on fire. So.
Yeah, this is going to be a lifetime original. It's going to be called Todd's Last Christmas. But we're going to do it. Yeah.
Instead of let it snow, let it burn.
Yeah, I'll be praying for snow right in my mouth.
Just have some milk ready. You'll be good.
Oh, No.
That's what a lot of people do. They drink
Yeah,
milk.
there comes a certain point where milk just doesn't do it anymore. It
Some
and
people use ice cream.
I was at Buffalo Wild Wings with my friend Ryan one time, and he said, "Hey Todd, if you eat these, I will pay for them." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." And he got 6 wings of something I had to sign a waiver for, and they brought me some milk, and I could feel it and smell it churning in my stomach. The milk. I just knew that I was on fire from the inside, but the milk was like curdling inside of me as a reaction to this oil. A couple of years ago, I went back to Buffalo Wild Wings because they don't have one here. They should have one here, but they don't have one here, and I noticed that that is no longer on the menu. Whatever it was called, I can't remember. But I asked them if they still had the sauce you had to sign a waiver for, and they said no. I think this
Maybe
was back 2006 or 2007. I was with Ryan and tried that abomination.
maybe they had an incident and decided not to do it anymore.
Yeah, I had that incident. I mean, I decided not to do it anymore.
I've done the same thing at a Thai food restaurant where there was a dish I had to sign a waiver for.
Really?
Yeah.
Thai food's delicious, though.
Oh, it was very delicious. But yeah, they brought it out to me, and it was delicious. But it probably one of the hottest things I've ever eaten.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I can't
It was good.
remember.
I don't remember what it was called. It was so long ago.
I can't remember any Thai dish whatsoever.
This was like 99, maybe 2000.
Oh, my goodness. So that's
That was a long
classic
time
Thai.
Indeed. Good. It was good.
Oh, I bet.
Felt like my face was melting.
What's the worst food you've ever eaten? Like just generalized cultural foods.
I wasn't a huge fan of borscht.
I don't know where borscht is from.
Russia.
Oh, okay. That sounds bland.
It's a cold cabbage soup with
A cold cabbage soup.
I think it's cabbage and beets. I think
I love beets and I love cabbage, but it was literally cold.
they serve a lot of their soups cold. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I might like it now. They say,
It might be a
taste change as you
summer
get older,
soup.
But I was not a fan at that point. Caviar is another thing I found absolutely disgusting.
I actually enjoy caviar. I like a lot of raw foods. People find that weird.
I like sushi.
I do enjoy the sushi. There's a lot of caviar in some of the sushis. Is it sushi or sushis? Sushis? Is there a plural for sushi? Sushi? Oh, Jinx, you owe me a Coke. So
Hey, so how are you going to cook your wings?
I'm definitely frying them.
You fry them in a pan, deep fryer?
No, I fry them in a pan. I'm not, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't own a deep fryer. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I'm going to try the new air fryer my wife got.
I want one of those so bad. So bad.
I've never used one before, but I hear they're all the new rage.
The new rage.
Yeah.
I'm curious,
Newfangled rage.
Just on top of those cooking trends. But, I've been curious about the air fryers because it's like, will it make French fries? Yes, it will, obviously. But the French fries I enjoy, you can set on fire because they're soaked with oil. So I'm curious if
how they come out.
How they come out with Is it literally zero oil?
Yeah, as far as I know. Have you ever baked French fries?
Oh yeah, that's actually normally how I make them.
Yeah.
Is bake them, but I normally also put them in like an inch of oil, and then turn the oven to like 500. I mean,
fair enough.
I'm essentially deep frying them in the oven. So yeah,
and probably dangerous, but
Oh, 100%. I've never set anything on fire though, so Kind of disappointed, actually. Expect a massive grease fire in there. Just a cooking sheet of oil. I don't know. It's not an inch. I'm exaggerating there, but there's a lot of oil they use, and they come out delicious. But
Well, at least you haven't thrown like a frozen turkey in a deep fryer.
those are some cool videos, though. I'm waiting for the Christmas mishaps popping up on YouTube. I need a new year of frozen turkey fryers. Fryers as in people frying frozen turkey. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
What? I know what it was like throwing frozen French fries into a deep fryer. It was a little.
Is that pretty scary?
It can be a little dicey
I think
depending
it's
how many
pretty
you throw in
bubbly,
there
yeah.
all at the same time.
Well, I know
But
it.
a turkey, which is occupying most of the space in the deep fryer, you're gonna throw that in there frozen?
I don't
That's
know.
just that's crazy
It
talk.
sounds like a horrible idea.
It is.
Oh man, speaking of horrible ideas, did you hear Chevy Suburban is getting a star on the Walk of Fame? Yep.
Why?
Chevrolet is petitioned and they actually won a bid to get a star for the Chevy Suburban on the Walk of Fame because it has apparently been in a movie every single year since 1960. Since basically the about the release of the Chevrolet Suburban.
Huh.
30 of those movies have been nominated for Oscars. So, I mean, as far as longevity goes, sure, but name a famous Chevy Suburban. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of crickets chirping on that one. I tried to dig and do a little research. I thought maybe the Ghostbusters, but no, that was something different. And
Yeah.
outside of like Transformers, which to me doesn't count because that movie was essentially just a car ad for Chevrolet. Um, all of them. It's just like which car maker can give Michael Bay the most money, and yeah,
Well,
you know,
some of the original vehicles weren't used because those companies didn't want their vehicles related to war machines. That's why Bumblebee wasn't a Volkswagen Bug.
okay,
That's the reason they gave.
okay. But if you
Yep.
watch the original Transformers movie, like the good one, the animated one,
From the 80s, yeah.
yeah, he was definitely not a Volkswagen in that movie. Um, I don't know a whole lot about the Transformers lore. I haven't. My doctorate is not in Transformers or existing, so yeah, I didn't quite. I like the Bumblebee movie. I didn't understand why it was a bug and why he suddenly decided to be a Camaro.
No.
I don't know, but that wasn't Michael Bay either, so it makes even less sense to me. Because I can't just chalk it up to, well, Michael Bay did it. Who cares?
Well, since you were talking about an SUV,
No. Uh-oh.
here's the story for you. Kansas man caught driving stolen SUV on the way to bail out his brother, who is arrested in a stolen SUV.
I'm not even going to lie. I think I know these people.
Oh man. The first sibling caught early Friday was 36-year-old Eric Dean McCracken.
Nope. Don't know.
That name only makes it better for some reason. He's
McCracken.
arrested for driving a Chevy Trailblazer with a suspended license. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office said in a news release they later learned that the SUV had been reported stolen. Hours later, his younger brother, 32-year-old Keith Ray McCracken, was arrested after leading deputies on a short chase in a stolen 2015 Chevy Silverado that authorities were tracking through its GPS. It's believed that the younger McCracken was en route to Jackson County Jail to post bail on his older brother in a stolen vehicle.
That's great.
Oh my
It's just,
goodness.
I don't know. You have a family of criminals, they just don't seem to. They're just like, I'll just take this.
My
Yeah, no irony
my,
here. I won't
my
get
brother's
caught.
in jail for driving with a suspended license and a stolen vehicle, and I'm gonna go try to pick him up in a stolen vehicle.
Yeah, it would have been funnier if it was the same one, and his brother just thought it was his car. You know, he's like, "Hey, I found your truck. Some jerk off was driving it. I beat him up, took it back for you."
It was parked in the impound. Weird.
Weird. Why'd you park it there? Did you know that's not cheap?
They got really cranky when I just drove it out of there.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not paying this. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, the guy I knew, it must have been 2007. I was working in Iowa. It was Labor Day weekend. Everybody was going home, and guy lived in Kansas. I'm trying to remember where he lived. I think it was like El Dorado or El Dorado. I don't know how they pronounce it in Kansas. But anyway, he said, if I go back, I'm going to prison. And we're like, don't go back then. He goes, well, I have nothing better to do. Everybody else is going home. We're like, well, go home then. Just don't go to prison. Well, he went home, went to prison. So never saw
I
him
wonder
again.
if there's anyone outside the jail with a sign, "Release the McCracken."
I was going to go with the Irish McCracken. It's coming from the deep briny. So
At least one of them's not named Philip McCracken.
Phil
No,
McCracken.
or Phil McCracken.
Film.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where you're going there. That's dirty. Speaking of briny, you like Bob Hope?
I do like Bob Hope.
Bob Hope and Bing Crosby had the road movies. Do you remember those? Road to Morocco, for example.
Yes.
Road
Oh
to
my goodness.
Bali is actually on Amazon Prime, and I watched that last night.
Oh, did you
Not
enjoy it?
not as good as Road to Morocco, but it had a lot of camera interaction where he's actually like talking to the to you, and he's just like at the end of the movie, certain events happened that Bob Hope did not enjoy, and the the end letters, I don't know, whatever tiling. I should know. I'm recording ours, and this, I don't know what they call it back then, but anyway, they're coming down, and he's like swatting it away, and he's just like, it ain't over yet, and and they're basically beating him up with the end sign. I don't know, and it was really funny because like during its day, you know that it's like pop culture movie. It's like this is what's now, and it's like watching a movie now that references something 20 years ago, and we all laugh about it. We're like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And we have a good laugh about it. Well, they reference things that happened 20 years ago. Now, this movie was made like, 1963, 4, or something like that. So they're talking about like Gone with the Wind and Clark Gable and stuff like that, and cracking jokes about it like it was like that's old news. Like, who cares about that anymore? I was like, you know, you're like watching movies, and it's like, they expect anybody to be watching this 50 years later? Apparently not. But it was good. I enjoyed it. Me and my son watched it, and he laughed. Didn't quite understand what was going on most of the time. But it's great. It's great watching them because they're both cheesy con men in the road movies. I love them. Not to be confused with like Road Trip or Euro Road Trip or any of those road trip movies. These are old road trips. So, oh man. But yeah, enough of Bob Hope. I have nothing more to say about him.
I may have to check that out though.
Yeah, no, it's there. It's good. It's like I said, it's not as good as Road to Morocco. Road to Morocco had a little more substance to it. It had a little better plot. It wasn't. I don't know. They had a lot of really cheesy filler stuff. One of my favorite scenes though is the Bali princess pulls out this wicker basket and plays a little flute or whatever, and this dancing chick comes out of the basket, and Bob Hope's like, "Ooh, I really like that," and then she like plays this little tune, and the girl goes back into the basket and disappears. Well, he immediately grabs the basket and a flute and just takes off. And of course, it gives Bing Crosby time to make the moves on the princess or whatever. But like scenes later, they finally catch up with Bob Hope, and he's like, "I think I've mastered this thing." Oh, I love it. And Bing Crosby tries it, and this chick with the unibrow comes out, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa!" And he goes, "Whoa." Bob Hope like plays the note to make her go back into the basket, and he goes, "You can't be playing with things you can't under." It was like he's like, "Don't be playing with things you can't control," or something like that. It was a pretty epic moment in American cinema.
That's great.
Should be remembered forever, but it won't be. They just don't make quality movies anymore.
Oh, don't worry. Somebody will remake it because apparently Hollywood has run out of ideas.
They have run out of ideas. There's a few remakes coming out.
Oh, of course.
All right, we're back after some brief technical difficulties. I was talking about Ghostbusters. And how it looks good, even though I have not watched the trailer.
Huh.
We talked about it. I don't watch trailers of movies I want to watch.
Yeah.
Like next week, I'm gonna go watch Star Wars. Not watching the trailer.
Fair enough.
Jumanji 2 is tomorrow morning. Not watching the trailer. Yeah. Of course, Joel over here has spoiled the entire movie already, telling me that Danny Glover and Danny DeVito's in it.
Yep.
I pretty much don't need to watch it now. Like, huge spoiler reveal there.
Dun dun dun.
I didn't know. You know, I follow Jack Black on Instagram, and he's been posting behind the scenes pictures all year. Like throughout the entire recording of it, he's been slapping them on Instagram. And never saw any shots of Danny DeVito or Danny Glover. Whoa,
Really?
Tale of Two Dannys. That's what they should have called it, not Next Level.
The two Dannys.
No. They should just call them each character Danny, so we could have that really cheap comedic element of the mix-ups of Danny's. Oh, I thought you were talking about the other Danny. Yeah, well, I thought you were talking about him. That's my Danny's Glover DeVito impersonation. It's pretty terrible.
I think those two could be the next grumpy old men.
That would be a good remake.
Or, just some sort of spin-off or sequel.
No, I think it'd be a remake. I think it'd be a good. Yeah, Danny DeVito, Danny Glover, and Al Pacino.
Or Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci could be in it too. We'll have 4 grumpy men's. Grumpy old man, that's whatever it's called.
Do we want to throw De Niro into the mix?
No, I hate De Niro now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to love De Niro. I just hate him now. I honestly don't like any actor who tries to use their platform as a political voice. The reason being is because these people have made a living speaking other people's words. How can I take them seriously about what their political opinions are? I mean, it's like literally, it makes no sense to me. Yeah. It's like who cares? You've made zero money off your own thoughts.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh well.
But yeah, no, that's just me. I don't know. He's fine so long as he's in movies. You know, when he is anywhere else, I don't care. But he's great. He was great in The Godfather. And thousands of other movies. Hundreds. Dozens. I don't know. He's been he's a really hard guy to work with.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Never
worked with him myself. Don't know.
Yeah, well, I used to bring him sandwiches. Not really.
I think he should bring me sandwiches.
Yeah, I think he should too. He was great in Casino. That was the movie I was trying to think of. When you said Joe Pesci, I immediately thought Casino. I was just like, man. And then you said De Niro, and I was like, yeah, I don't like De Niro, but man, he was great.
Love that movie.
I just like the sound effect of the baseball bat in the cornfield. I don't understand why they did such a good job with that. Mm.
I wonder how they researched that to what it would sound like when you're hitting somebody with a baseball.
They just went to Detroit after, after a Lions game.
Oh my goodness!
Why do they sign so many new players in the middle of the season? Well, they should quit losing. The town eats them alive. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. I have a friend who's a huge Detroit Tigers fan. He's also a Raiders fan, though, so I can't really judge his taste.
At least he's not a Browns fan.
Oh, it's the Packers. Bring out my brown pants. Yeah, that's a good name for a team. The Browns. The Browns Packers.
Deadpool would approve.
I agree. Oh, man. Speaking of, what? Oh, are you about to speaking of?
No, go ahead.
All right. I found a thing, a short tidbit. Do you like to race? I don't, but do you? I know a lot of people who do. You remember the glory days of Fast and the Furious, and I'm not talking about the new ones. I'm talking about 2000 when everybody slapped a wing on anything they were driving. I think this man still lives in that era because a Georgia man was arrested for trying to race a police car. Yeah, this happened about a week ago or something. But anyway, it wasn't like an unmarked police car. It was an actual patrol car. And when he finally got pulled over, his excuse for driving so fast, because the officer was just like, "Why are you driving so fast?" And the guy just said, "All I saw was a guy pull up next to me pretty quickly, and I thought he was trying to challenge me, bruh." Yeah. This guy's up and ready. He'll take all newcomers.
He's special, huh?
No, I think he'd give the outlaw. What is that? Outlaw racing. Is that what the name of that show is? Louisiana boys who run around racing people for pinks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pinks.
Pink slips.
Okay. Yeah. I said that and I was like, wait. Is that right? I don't know. Probably because I've never owned the title of any of my vehicles. That's not true. But I only get copies of them from the bank.
Oh, man.
No, but that was pretty much it. Yeah, he said he just saw a car pull up next to him and thought someone was trying to challenge him, so pedal to the metal. Grabbing gears.
Huh.
Yeah. Yep, that's the end of it. That's the end of all the things I have too. So you got to fill in at least another 30 minutes.
Oh man.
You're like, I've got nothing.
A buddy of mine brought this thing to my attention. Apparently, I had never heard of this, and I am totally not into it, but apparently it's a natural method of stimulating the immune system and zapping a cold or flu. Apparently, it's called the wet sock treatment. Apparently, you soak a pair of socks in ice water, and then you wring them out really good so they're just damp. And you put them on your feet before you're going to bed. I don't know about you.
Not this guy.
I can't stand wet socks. If I step in, if water gets spilled on the floor and I don't see it and I step in it, that sock is coming off and I'm immediately putting on a dry sock.
Yeah.
I can't stand wet socks.
Yeah, that's before the floor gets dried off, too.
Yes, you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, I'm on board with that one. But there's three problems with that. Just like you, I don't like wet socks. I also don't like wet beds.
A chief medical officer at the Baxter Center teaching the clinic of Baxter University. They say it works because it rallies the body's defenses. It's known as a heating compress, meaning it's up to the body to heat the cold, wet socks. The body reacts to the cold socks by increasing blood circulation, which also stimulates the immune system.
Okay,
Uh,
so we're not trying to get over a sickness, we're trying to prevent one? Is this like taking the airborne pill if you're like, oh, everybody was sick at work, I better put on wet socks?
no, this is you have the flu or a cold, so you put on wet socks, and it's supposed to help rev up your immune system to quickly fight the cold or the flu.
So why is my immune system not already awake and fighting if I have the flu?
I guess it didn't fight good enough, and now you're trying to ramp it up to help fight it. I
You're
don't
like,
know, man.
hey,
Me,
no.
if I know people are showing up at work sick, I start taking vitamin C pills.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to work. I don't get sick nearly as often.
I got my free flu shot. I'm cool. And if I catch a cold from somebody at work, well, I'm going to see how far along I can circulate that thing, and I show up with a cold just like everybody else.
The one time I got a flu shot, I was literally out sick the next day.
Yeah, the side effects of the flu shot. This is my first year actually getting one that I could remember. I don't think in my adult life I've like, oh, let's go get a flu shot. No, they were at work. The dude with the needle was there by the back door. I was like, okay. I got to walk past him anyway. But no, like that day, I was just the next day I felt terrible, and it wasn't like flu-like symptoms,
No, but I
but
felt bad.
yeah, I was really groggy. That is a pretty cat, I have to say.
She is adorable, and she is a very loving cat. And right now, she is extra loving.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I, there are two stray cats that think that they belong to me, and one of them they keep trying to get in, and I'm like, no, you're not mine. Go away. And I mean, these are some real scrapyard junk pile cats. I mean, this is not like, oh, you're kind of cute. I guess I'll give you something. These are matted, dirty, dusty, probably sleep underneath like a oil leaking truck. These are the nastiest looking cats that you can possibly think of.
uh,
Have you seen the video of that crazy looking cat that's like outside that dude's backyard? I wouldn't go so far as like the eyes, but there's one of them who looks like that cat. Only the eyes are straight. Yeah, yeah, that cat's messed up. I mean,
actually,
I'd have nightmares.
our cat was a little grungy when we first brought her in, but she's like, "Oh, I'm in a home," and she immediately set to cleaning herself, and like the next morning, she was spotless.
Well,
It's
that's
like,
very courteous of her.
oh yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that's poor presentation, but followed through. Became a house cat. Maybe.
Immediately.
Yeah, I'm not going with these ones. One of them's missing half its tail. I feel bad for it, but at the same time, I'm like, I really don't want you inside. I don't feel that bad, and I know if I feed you, you're just going to be extra affectionate as I'm trying to walk up the stairs with all my groceries and things. So
Yeah.
I have not named them. I just I do
You don't want to name one Pookie.
no, I don't. Not at all.
Meat hook.
Maybe, but yeah, that's it. I don't know. I don't know. Wet socks. That sounds terrible. It seems like a
does sound terrible.
flawed theory. I mean, the flu is invasive. A cold is really invasive. It destroys you.
It's a tried method. A lot of people swear by it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people swear by a lot of things. I'm not
They
buying
do.
it. I'm not buying it because I'm not trying it.
Me either.
That's my life, and I'm sticking to it.
I don't like wet socks.
No, wet socks, wet bed. They're like, yeah, get in bed with wet socks on. I'm like, I can't. I don't sleep with socks on, let alone wet socks, and I don't like a wet bed,
Hard pass, thanks.
especially on my feet. Or
This,
cold. I don't like
yeah.
cold. Yeah, my feet are always cold though.
This next story I actually got from Matt.
He's a
from work.
plethora of great knowledge.
Oh man. So this shop owner, Chad Baxter, he had an auto shop. And apparently it was robbed, and he reported it to the police. And they had a suspect in mind. Apparently, Mr. Chad Baxter tracked the thief down, kidnapped him at gunpoint, brought him back to the shop, and smashed both his hands with a hammer.
That's old school.
So he gets arrested. Now, the guy who broke in and sold the stuff, he's booked with simple burglary, and his bond was set at like $10,000. This dude was booked with second-degree battery and second-degree kidnapping, and his bond is $75,000. Like,
I say just let them both go. Justice is served.
Right? Oh my goodness. But that's hardcore.
Yeah, right it is. Man. I mean, if you just, police don't do nothing. I got this. I wonder what he smashed his hands with. I wonder if he went with the old pipe wrench routine. The old monkey wrench, excuse me. He didn't call it a pipe wrench. It was a monkey wrench.
I am looking.
20-pound sledge.
Does he use the hammer? That's all it says.
He used a hammer. It's probably a sledgehammer. Ball peen hammer, definitely. That is the most bone crushing.
But the guy who had ripped his place off, he had to have surgery on both hands. That's how bad.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't need those hands. I wouldn't have arrested either one of them. I wouldn't, I don't know. You can't deny him medical treatment, but at the same time, it's like, just make sure his thumb is working so he can hitchhike out of town,
Lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned. Just give him 10 splints on each finger. Everything will work out eventually. Bones heal over time.
Yes.
Yep. Just amputate them.
I've only got one story left. And it's definitely not a happy one.
Shoot. That's terrible. We're going to have to ramble on about this one. Can I make fun of it? It's not happy. Why didn't you start with that one?
I don't know.
It's terrible.
I was hoping we had more. And that I wouldn't even have to talk about this one.
Yeah, this week is. I mean, we could ramble on. I mean, we're technically. I don't know. We had that bug. I'm gonna say we had like 2 minutes off, so we're like 45 minutes in.
New Jersey man, 21 years of age, who dies after car started remotely by owner rolls forward, crushing him.
Okay.
He was pinned between two cars, one of which started remotely by its owner. He was in the Queens, New York City on Friday. He was standing between two parked cars when one of them turned on after it was accidentally started by a remote control system, and the car somehow rolled forward, trapping Kasanovich between two vehicles.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough. The only reason I was laughing is because yesterday, leaving work, I was laughing that everybody at work who has the auto start on their car, because as you're walking out, leaving work, you just hear random vehicles start up. There's at least 7 out there in the parking lot that just start.
Yeah, usually you'll see them standing by the windows in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
Pointing out the window.
Yeah. It typically like 2 minutes before it's time to leave.
It's like it's not that cold outside.
Yeah, I mean they did it winter, summer. It doesn't matter. I think they do it just to do it. I bet there's actually a lot more vehicles out there that have auto start, but those people have had it long enough that it's no longer a novelty. That's just my theory. I've been told that my vehicle may or may not have that feature. I have not dug into my owner's manual to find out.
We have it on ours. And we'll use it on really, really cold days.
It'd be nice in the morning. I mean, it's been really cold lately, and I've been like debating on whether I go outside and start my car, and I thought, well, yeah, I probably should. And then I go down barefoot for some reason. I don't know why I don't put shoes on. start the car, and then I get ready. It's like, why don't you just wake up a little earlier? And I was like, because it's 5 o'clock in the morning already. Earlier is not an option.
Yeah, it's
I don't
like when I
know.
used to get up earlier to exercise in the morning before work, and I'm like, what am I doing?
It's like pushing 40. I'm not going to exercise in the morning. I'm almost dead anyway. It's like,
Oh my goodness.
everybody's going to go to my funeral. He looked so good. Mm, I don't
Excuse
know
me.
why. That actually doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how would it roll forward the car? Going back to your story, I'm not a mechanic, so
Yeah, I mean
I mean,
that's apparently they don't know why it shouldn't have.
can a manual transmission? Could it have been a manual transmission and the e-brake was crap?
Possible.
I don't know if a manual transmission can have auto start. Don't you have to have the clutch engaged?
No idea.
I have no idea. I'm not.
Yeah, I think you have the clutch engaged to start the car.
I guess maybe. Who knows? I'm calling foul
It's
play. I'm
it
calling foul
says
play. He
it's
had.
unclear how the Lexus rolled forward, as the remote system isn't supposed to work unless the vehicle is placed in park.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
spokesperson for Lexus told Streetsblog that the remote start feature was not offered in their vehicles in 2002. Therefore, someone added it to the vehicle after it was purchased.
Yeah. Hmm.
So maybe a crappy job done on installing it.
Might have been bad. I don't know. Oh man. I'm excited. Tomorrow, Jumanji 2 work
Yes.
event. I'm gonna be bringing my kids, and everybody I know is gonna go watch Jumanji 2.
Hmm.
I'm everybody I've talked to, except for Brian. Brian's gonna go watch Frozen because he has girls.
Oh, understandable. That makes sense.
I was like, "What are you gonna go watch?" He said Frozen 2, and then when they changed the movies, I was like, "Dude, man, Jumanji 2, it's coming out." And he says, "Oh, yeah, oh." I was like, "Have you told your girls you're gonna take them to see Frozen?" He says, "No, I haven't told them anything." I was like, "Then take them to see Jumanji." He goes, "Yeah, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work." So I was actually really having problems picking what movie because, of course, my boys are 9 and 14, and I was like looking at the movies, and I was like, Knives Out. I heard that's pretty tame for PG, for PG-13. And you know what? You have to clarify, like PG-13. You have like, oh, what's a good example? Um, okay, well, what was that movie? Lights Out. I saw the trailer for it the other day. It's an older movie, but I saw the trailer for it watching another movie with my girlfriend, and the trailer terrified me. I was like, that movie looks scary. I don't do scary movies very well anyway, but I literally could not make it through this 90-second trailer. So I was like, that's horrifying, and it was PG-13. Okay, um, she said that the movie was horrific, but it wasn't like violent. It was just scary images. Okay, but then you have movies like The Avengers, for example. People just climbing over other people so they can take their children to go watch these Marvel characters kill and maim people. Um, so it's like Knives Out. It's a murder mystery. It's a comedy. That might be okay. And then
I was
yeah,
I was surprised when I saw how many kids were brought to see
Deadpool.
the first. Yeah.
Those are horrible parents. Those are bad parents.
That's what Ryan Reynolds said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
said it at work, but I'm gonna say it again. I can't believe how old Ryan Reynolds is. I mean, I really can't. Yeah, I don't remember him acting, but he's been acting regularly since like the early '90s. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I remember Van Wilder
Yeah, that was like '99, but
when he was in Blade Trinity?
Yeah, that was like 2000 something. But I
Yeah.
mean, he's man, what was it? I don't know. I can't name any of his early movies. I can name very few of his movies actually.
But Van Wilder was definitely
Oh, that's a staple in American drinking
that was
society.
he was very young in that.
I don't think he was. I think he was like
No,
30.
I'm
I don't
curious.
know how old he is, honestly, but I mean, literally, he has been acting as an adult since like the early 90s, so I don't know how old he is. Yeah, look up and see how old Ryan Reynolds. I don't think he's Keanu Reeves old, but I'm kind of
Um,
curious when Keanu Reeves is going to hang it up because Daniel Craig said he wasn't going to do any more Bond movies because he's just too old. He's just like, these really kill me. But of course,
my
now
my
there's, huh,
my brain just drew a blank. Who am I looking up?
I don't know.
Deadpool guy.
Yeah, how old is Deadpool?
No, seriously, my brain blanked on it.
That's awesome. There's actually a new Bond movie coming out. Have you seen that? Seen the
Yeah.
advert for the new Bond?
Yes.
I'm actually disappointed because I have the Bond Daniel Craig Bond collection, and when he said that there would be no more Daniel Craig Bond, and then they're like, we'll do one more. I'm like, thanks, you ruined my collection. Now I need another one. For the record, I don't like all Bond movies. I think they're the vast majority of the 200 and some James Bond movies out there are pretty bad. But there are some good ones. There are some good ones.
Oh, apparently Ryan Reynolds is the same age as I am.
Oh my gosh, dude.
He was born the exact same year. He is
Oh my
40.
goodness. We're gonna have to. That just let it be known. You need to go watch every Daniel Craig movie out there. Daniel Craig. I'm hung up on Daniel Craig movies. He's in Knives Out too. I was actually really wanting to watch that, but yeah, no. Ryan Reynolds. Make sure you watch every single one of them because it might be his last.
Hey, man. He's only 43.
Oh
Jeez.
my goodness. He's only 43. When did he start acting? How old was he? 43. I don't know. As you watch us surf the internet, obsessing over Ryan Reynolds, I watched The Hitman's Bodyguard the other night. That was pretty good.
Was it?
I liked it. I liked it. I didn't think I would, but I did. Yeah. It's funny because, like, every time he brings up somebody who ruined his life, Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, who plays an assassin in the movie, he's like, oh, no, man, I did that. Nah, man, you got that wrong. I was just there and I was like, oh, yeah, let's kill that guy. It's like, I kept laughing because like he would bring up something and he'd be like, and then so and so did this, and he's like, oh, nope, that was me. I loved it. It was a great movie. It was a great
I'll have
movie.
to check that out.
Yeah, I'd lend it to you, but I got it on Voodoo. They had like a 3 for $10 sale, and there was that and Sicario and The Thing, and I got those three. There was a lot of other movies, but who cares?
That's all Todd cared about was those three
Yeah,
movies.
I love The Thing. That's a sci-fi horror classic. I think it reaches the pinnacle right behind Alien. But and yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of sci-fi horror I like, but The Thing is right up there. I recently watched
Is that the old movie where the thing attacks someone from the toilet? Am
no,
I remembering it? Oh,
no,
okay.
that's something
That's a
different. This is the one
that's a
that's in Antarctica.
yeah.
So, oh yeah, they did attack that guy from the toilet.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I also own the prequel that was made in 2011, which was also really good. But the difference between the two movies and what makes the original better is that the puppets and the yarn with the the hot jello that rolls down it looks more realistic than the CGI in the new one.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like scary realistic. I don't know. I love them. Love those movies. But John Carpenter, we're running out of time technically, but I'm gonna just say how bad John Carpenter's music is. He is a horrible composer, absolutely wretched. His idea of what music sounds like is like, I don't know, just geese choking on, I don't know, something weird. I don't know, rawhide bones. I don't know. It's just like, and really to put it into words, right after I watched the thing, the next day I watched Escape from New York. And I forgot that John Carpenter made Escape from New York until the music started. I was like, oh, this is a John Carpenter movie. Because it was like, it was just so terrible. And if you were to listen to it today from just some random person, not like not anybody famous, if you listen to like some random person and their music, you'd be like, man, this is terrible. What kind of, like, I don't know, 10-year-old laptop did you make this on? You know, it's bad. It's really bad. But I knew immediately that it was a John Carpenter movie. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, he did this too? Okay. But it's such a horrible idea of music. I like his movies. I love They Live, Vampires. What was some other ones? What's your favorite John Carpenter movie?
Vampires.
That was a good one. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Wasn't what's his name? Michael Madison. Michael Madison? I don't remember. He was in that, right?
I think so.
I don't know. James Woods is in it.
Yeah.
From James Woods High.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Piece of candy.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think we got enough. We churned out another one. We were so unprepared. I'm so unprepared.
Yeah, it was short notice.
It was very short notice, and I apologize for that. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day, of course, for the movie, but my son has a Christmas event with choir that evening, and we have sudden afternoon plans that just spawned up, and so here we are, Friday night. Our stale news is now moldy. It's already 3 days old.
Man, there just wasn't a lot of good stories to choose from this week.
I think all the crime and all the dumb robberies and all the silly deaths and all the, I don't know, the weird protesters. I did read one about some British protesters protesting Turkey, stating that there's like 15 million turkeys killed in the UK every year or something for Christmas. And I was just like, who cares? Florida news is not even funny to me anymore. I've read so much of it. Georgia news is not that great either. And Alabama news, which is basically like Florida 2, just doesn't even shock me anymore. I think that's the fallout of doing this podcast, honestly. These stupid people just don't, it doesn't faze me anymore.
Not as entertaining.
It's not to me. I try to make it entertaining. I don't know.
Usually I try to dig up a good historical story, but just didn't have the time tonight.
I do have one that I'll either pass off to. I'll send it to you, and if you want to cover it, otherwise I'll cover it in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anything you want to say before I shut us down?
Well, if you guys like the video, hit like, hit subscribe, follow us on Facebook.
Yeah. Share. Goodness gracious, bring the or
listen to us on Spotify.
Oh yeah, if I ever remember to upload that. You get it a week later. I know I said Monday. This week has been weird. I don't sleep much, so I got
busy week.
Yeah. Well, I don't sleep much, and I was like, a lot of my attitude, and of course the winter months I get the seasonal depression, not really depression, like the blues, I get a little down. So I got some Z-Quil because I get insomnia in the winter really bad. So I got some Z-Quil and I got back on that. And basically I've been coming home from work taking a shower, eating, and then going to bed. And it's like 6 o'clock. And I basically just like watch movies. And then about 7:30, I take the dose of ZQL, and I'm normally out by like 8:30. Yeah, it's been pretty nice. I've been sleeping great. But I've been doing nothing.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, you know.
but yeah, no, like, subscribe, share with your friends, share with people you don't know. I don't care. If you have a mailing list, just toss a link in your in your email signature. I don't care.
Or, you know, you're sending someone a Christmas card. And slap it on there. Hey, while you're at PS, watch this podcast.
Watch this podcast. You have 20 minutes to live. Unless you watch this podcast. That should have been our Halloween special that we didn't have.
I think I'm just going to start signing Christmas cards with our stickers. Just slap one of those in there.
It's kind
Love the verbal nonsense.
It's kind of a broke Christmas for me. I think maybe people will just be getting stickers.
Hey.
Luckily, I don't have a lot of friends, so the 10 will be more than enough. Anyway, man, we have rambled. So, thank you very much for tuning in and making it this far. And
yes, thanks for watching.
Absolutely. And I again am Todd, and that is Joel, the guy with the deeper voice. And yeah. Oh, yeah. Wait. Nope. I don't remember. I don't know. Make sure to check out our links in the description. I don't remember, man. I don't know. We've got things going on. Things coming up. Don't forget about our spicy Christmas special coming up next week. And thanks for joining us.